momentum only. Fine. The value of final angular momentum only. Yes. So what will be that? What will be that, boss? Final angular momentum must be equal to what? I into omega. When I talk of angular momentum, that is equal to what? I into omega. Is that correct? Now the question comes, angular momentum equal to I into omega. Is that correct? No, no, no. This is correct only for a specific case. This is correct only for a specific case. That is whenever the body is executing pure rotation only. This expression is valid only for a body undergoing pure rotation only, not always. Pure rotation only. Getting it? Pure rotation means what? Pure rotation means one part of the body should be fixed, one part of the body should be fixed, and that should be behaving like the axis of rotation. And about that fixed point, if the body is having some angular velocity omega naught, then I'll say in this case angular momentum of the body will be how much, boss? Angular momentum of the body will be moment of inertia about this axis. The moment of inertia about this axis, about this fixed point which is behaving like the axis of rotation into omega. Moment of inertia into omega naught. Moment of inertia into omega naught will give me the angular momentum of the body in case of pure rotation only, not always. Now tell me one thing, what kind of motion do you expect the body to be performing just after the first collision? What kind of motion do you expect the body to be performing just after the first collision? What kind of motion? It's common sense. You must be expecting a what? A combined motion. No? Combined motion, because the center will gain a velocity. Center will gain a velocity Vf. At the same time, the body must be gaining some angular velocity about the center also. See here, the impulse will create an angular impulse, means it will impart an angular velocity to the body in the clockwise sense like this. So that means the body is rotating about the center. That means the center is axis now. Center is axis now, but the axis is not fixed. So that is the difference between pure rotation and combined motion. When I said about pure rotation, I take a body, I fix one point. That fixed point will be the axis of rotation. And about this fixed point as axis of rotation, the body is having some angular velocity. And now this axis of rotation is also imparted some velocity. Let's say V axis. Earlier, the axis of rotation was fixed. The body was rotating about the axis with angular velocity omega. Just get the difference. Very clear, very simple is it. So initially, the axis of rotation was fixed. The body was rotating about the axis of rotation with omega. So it was a case of pure rotation. Now I impart some velocity to the axis. Now allow the axis to move with some velocity. Axis is no more at rest. Axis is no more stationary. Then it will be simply a case of what? A combined motion. A combined motion is the kind of motion in which there is rotational motion about the axis. What is a combined motion? I'll write here. There is rotational motion about the axis. A rotation about the axis. There is rotation about the axis plus translation of the axis. A rotation about the axis plus translation of the axis. Getting it? Translation means linear movement, some velocity, some acceleration. It can be acceleration also. We are talking of velocity, it's fine. So some kind of linear movement of the axis. Is it here? Yes. Some kind of linear motion, some velocity of the axis is here. And there is some rotation about the axis, means some angular motion about the axis. That is also present. So angular velocity about the axis and the linear motion of the axis means the translation of the axis and rotation about the axis. If these two are happening simultaneously, the kind of motion will be termed as what? The combined motion. Means it's a combination of rotation and translation. Right? So that kind of motion will be happening here. So whenever this kind of motion happens, a rotation plus translation, how do we define the angular momentum? Suppose I have a case here. So there's some kind of arbitrary set body. This is the center of mass. This is the center of mass. Center of mass is moving with some velocity vcm vector. And about the center of mass, the body is rotating with omega naught. Angular speed is omega naught. And I want you to write the angular momentum of this body, angular momentum of this body about a point P here. This point P is somewhere on the ground. I don't know any random point, any arbitrary point that is somewhere on the ground. I wanted to write the angular momentum of the body, with respect to the axis passing through the point P. The axis passing here through the point P. Now I want you to write the angular momentum of the body. What will be that? It will be simply, I'll say, directly it cannot be write down with respect to P. So what tool I have? First I can make an observer. So see, angular momentum of the body has to be written with respect to point P. It means an observer has to stand here. An observer has to stand here and he has to write the angular momentum of the body. Yes? An observer has to stand here and he has to write the angular momentum of the body. And he cannot write directly because the body is in combined motion. He cannot write directly because the body is in combined motion. The what option he has is, he can make himself climb or stand on the center of mass. Let us assume that the observer first stands on the center of mass and observes the body. So now tell me, the moment this person, this observer stands on the center of mass, will he call the body to be in combined motion anymore? Will he see the body to be in combined motion anymore? No, because the moment he stands on the center of mass, whatever is the velocity of center of mass, the same would be the velocity of this person as well. The same would be the velocity of this person as well, isn't it? His center of mass is moving at 20 kilometers per hour and this person is standing on the center of mass. He will also start moving with 20 kilometers per hour. So with respect to himself, the velocity of center of mass will be what? 0. Because both are moving with the same speed in the same direction. So obviously, with respect to the center of mass, the velocity with respect to the person, the velocity of the center of mass will be what? 0. Velocity of the center of mass with respect to the person standing where? Standing on the center of mass itself. He is observing the center of mass, standing on the center of mass itself. So obviously it has to be what? 0. That means, can this person say that the center of mass is a fixed point? Yes. Center of mass is a fixed or a stationary point? Yes. The moment he says center of mass is a fixed or a stationary point, what kind of motion he can say the body is performing? Will he say anymore the body is performing combined motion? No. No, boss, you won't say that the body is performing combined motion anymore, because combined motion means what I told just now, rotation about the axis plus translation of the axis. But this man standing on the axis, center of mass axis here, standing on the axis is not observing any translation of the axis, because the velocity of the center of mass with respect to the person has become what? 0. Because he is standing on the center of mass itself and observing the center of mass. Clear? No translation of the axis means only rotation, means the motion combined, the combined motion of the body with respect to any general point, with respect to this point P, has been converted to what? Purely rotational motion, pure rotation with respect to a person standing on the center of mass and observing the body. Is that clear? So now this person can say that the angular momentum will be how much? I into omega. I means I about what? I about the axis. And the axis here, center of mass, means I about center of mass into omega vector. So what is this term? This term that is writing here I into omega vector. What is this term? This term is nothing but the angular momentum of the body as observed by a person standing on the center of mass. So I can say this is the angular momentum of the body with respect to center of mass. With respect to a person on the center of mass means with respect to center of mass. Yes. That will be ICM omega vector. So body with respect to center of mass, I got it, that is I into omega. If I'll add this vectorially, angular momentum of center of mass with respect to point P, how much I'm going to get the net angular momentum of the body with respect to P? It's a simple vector addition, a relative concept. Body with respect to center of mass plus center of mass with respect to P. I cannot write directly with respect to P. That's why I have chosen center of mass as an intermediate here. Center of mass as an in relative concept, always you do that. We choose one thing as an intermediate. Write the velocity or acceleration of one thing, body with respect to that, plus the velocity or acceleration of the intermediate with respect to the final point, with respect to which we want to find the angular momentum. That we write, and the sum of the vector sum of the two give us a net angular momentum of the body, right? So body with respect to center of mass, already have written ICM into omega vector plus center of mass with respect to point P. Center of mass with respect to point P, what will be that? So when I talk of center of mass, do I need to consider the extended body anymore? If I talk of center of mass, do I need to consider the extended body anymore? No, I don't need to consider the extended body anymore, because center of mass can be represented by a single point. Center of mass means a single point or point particle having mass equal to that of the body. So entire mass of the body is assumed to be concentrated on the center of mass. You can assume that center of mass is a point particle moving with a velocity VCM, and I need to write the angular momentum of center of mass with respect to P. So this is the angular momentum in pure translation. You know that whenever a point particle of mass m moves with a velocity v vector with respect to an axis, so what do? We join the axis with the particle. That becomes what? The radius vector or the position vector. Yes. Suppose this angle is something theta, the smaller angle between radius vector and the velocity of center of mass vector is theta. So I write down here angular momentum of center of mass with respect to point P, because center of mass is a point particle now, will be equal to what? M into R vector cross VC vector. M R cross V, isn't it? M R cross V. When I'll expand this, it will be magnitude of radius vector into magnitude of velocity vector of center of mass into sine of the smaller angle. Sine of the smaller angle theta between the radius vector and the velocity vector. Why did I say smaller angle? Why did I talk about smaller angle? Because always there are two angles possible between the vectors. Between two vectors, whenever two vectors form some angle between them, they always form two angles. They don't form a single angle, they always form two angles. So one is the smaller angle and one other one is the larger angle. Yes. So this is the smaller angle and this one is larger angle. So I have to take the sine of the smaller angle. So whatever it is, we know this. It's a very simple, very easy to find out. So M R cross B, M R vector cross VCM vector, that will be the angular momentum of the center of mass with respect to P. And body with respect to center of mass, already we have found out ICM and omega vector. So in combined motions, whenever a body is in combined motion, if center of mass is moving with a velocity VCM, and we are asked to find the angular momentum of the body with respect to point P, and the body is rotating about the center of mass with omega naught. So I'll write down here angular momentum of the body with respect to point P will be the vector sum of two terms, that is equal to angular momentum of body with respect to center of mass plus center of mass with respect to P. Yes. Body with respect to center of mass is ICM omega vector. Plus this thing is center of mass with respect to P, assuming center of mass like a point particle having the mass equal to that of the body. Just now I had written is equal to what? M into R vector cross VC vector. isn't it? So sum of the two vectorial, a vector sum of the two terms, because both are vectors, will give me the net angular momentum of the body with respect to P. Now if I ask you, find the angular momentum of the body with respect to center of mass only in the combined motion. The body is in combined motion. Body is not in pure rotation. Body is in combined motion. I ask you, find the angular momentum of the body with respect to center of mass only. So what will be your answer? On this second term vanishes. The moment I say this, body with respect to center of mass, the first term will remain the same. Force, whatever be the point with respect to center of mass, with respect to P, with respect to X, Y, Z, anything, the first term is going to remain the same. The person is going to stand on the center of mass and observe the body. The first term is going to remain the same. What about the second term? The second term will be what? Center of mass with respect to what? The center of mass itself. Na? When point P was here, center of mass with respect to P was the second term. Now P itself is what? The center of mass. Because the final angular momentum also has to be found out with respect to center of mass only. Is that clear? So now that means this point P has been shifted from here again to center of mass. So center of mass with respect to center of mass means what? On this radius vector be 0. When P was here, this was our vector. When P itself will come on the center of mass, this radius vector will be what? 0. I mean, this will be m into 0 into VCM. What will be that? 0. The second term will vanish. That means we are going to get only ICM into omega vector. Fine. So that is what I was saying in the case when the rod makes the first collision. Drawing proper diagrams is figures is very important. Doesn't feel good. I'm not drawing good figures. It doesn't feel good to. The feel good factor doesn't come in physics, doesn't it? So a little emphasis on solving good figures and good diagrams. Okay. Anyway, so that means the linear impulse exerted here is J naught. Linear impulse exerted here is J naught. So above the center we are finding the linear angular impulse. Now angular impulse what have written? J naught into L by 2 cos theta. About which axis? About an axis passing through the center. Yes, this is R effective with respect to the axis passing through the center, because this one will be L by 2 cos theta. Yes. So equal to final angular momentum minus initial angular momentum. At this angular momentum I'm talking of the what? Of the rod. And that must be what? Must be in the combined motion, because after the collision, just after the collision, the rod is going to get a linear velocity of the center of mass we have offered, as well as an angular velocity about the center also, isn't it? Yes. So rod will be in combined motion, but this angular momentum in combined motion, of course, but with respect to which point? With respect to which axis? The center of mass itself. Because angular impulse we are finding about the center of mass. So obviously the angular momentum also has to be taken with respect to center of mass. So it's not possible that we'll take angular impulse about center of mass and angular momentum about some other axis. Then it will be fundamentally wrong. So if you have to be correct, fundamentally correct, then angular impulse and angular momentum both have to be written with respect to same axis of rotation only, and that is center of mass. So with respect to center of mass, the angular impulse is J naught into L by 2 cos theta. So angular momentum also has to be taken with respect to center of mass. That means the second term will vanish. What I told just now, body with respect to center of mass plus center of mass with respect to center of mass. If center of mass is the final point, the second term will be center of mass with respect to center of mass, which will be 0, because R vector for center of mass with respect to center of mass will be 0. Fine. So that's why I'll get this here. Final ICM into omega only ICM into omega tau. Yes, and initially is invariably 0. So what is ICM? ml square upon 12, because it's a uniform rod of mass and length, ml square upon 12 into omega naught. So this gives me the second equation. The first equation already we had a linear impulse equal to change in the linear momentum, that is mvcm plus under root of 2gh, and I got the second equation from angular impulse. Angular impulse, that is j naught L by 2 cos theta equals to, right here, j naught L by 2 cos theta equals to ml square omega naught upon 12. Where omega naught is the angular speed achieved by the rod just after making the first collision. Is that clear? Let us stop here for the moment. Okay. Then in the next video, I'll come up with the rest of the solution, and in that many more concepts will be discussed. I hope many of the concepts would be clarified of yours while discussing till this point in the question. And many such more concepts will be clear, and that is the beauty of rotational dynamics. One question you solve, and at least 10 or 20 concepts of yours are clarified all the way through to the end from the beginning. Okay, so we'll enjoy the rest of the part also. In the next video I'll come up with very soon. Until then, bye bye, take care, good night everyone.